One of the great lessons of life that I've learned the older that I've gotten, there's no way I could have understood this when I was younger, and I don't think most people do. But the older that I've gotten, the more I realize that one conversation can lead to one relationship that will change the trajectory of your life and the path that you're on. The way I see it, relationships can do four things. One of four things. One, they change the path you're on. Two, they can confirm that you are on the correct path. Three, they can try to hinder you if you're on the right path. Four, they can oftentimes put you on the wrong path. And I want to talk about that first one. That many times we are one conversation and one relationship away from changing the trajectory of our life and putting us on a path, a better path. That I'm reminded of that, and I'm no more reminded of that than right now. This week, we lost a man that affected a lot of people's lives. I know he affected mine. And many of you that will see this know him, Bob Zasloff. When I met Bob Zasloff, I was working part time at Safelight. I was working two jobs actually. I was working at Safelight for a few hours in the morning. I would come home, I had a couple of hours, and then I would take off to work my night job or my main job. I got a chance to interview with uh, Bobby Z or Zaz or Mr. Z. I had a chance to interview with him for the trainer role that was available. Now, I'd done some training. I'd been burned by companies in the past. I built training programs only to have a particular company take that training program and then institute it and then basically phase my job out. But yet they liked my material. Go figure. Um, so, that kind of stuff. And I was done. I didn't really want to be in front of people, build any training, but I figured, hey, I'll apply for the trainer role. I was to interview with him for about 20 minutes. My first meeting with him, we sat in that office for an hour and almost an hour and a half, just short of an hour and a half. And we talked about everything, the job, our personalities, where we were from, so on and so forth. And he hired me as a trainer. And that is what morphed into hashtag Scotty the Trainer. So I don't know in my life if there would be a Scotty the Trainer if it were not for that conversation and that meeting with Bob Zasloff. Um, and I think about the times that he would call me down to his office, and I would go down there thinking I was about to get into trouble or I was going into a meeting about something, training, and we would sit there and just talk and laugh. And uh, he would always, every day, say to me, Mr. Packer, how's the family? That was the first thing he would always say to me. How's the family? Um, he used to tell me how he liked the fact that I was a family man and wanted to take care of my family. And one time being in his office, we sat there for, I don't know, probably 45 minutes or more, and we were both doing imitations and lines from The Godfather. I'll never forget that. And he did, of course, he did the I'm gonna make him an offer you can't refuse. But his favorite was when James Caan. Uh, if you haven't seen The Godfather, there's spoilers. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! But James Caan ends up getting shot, and his name is Sonny in the movie. And then when Brando, the Godfather, sees him, Bob would do this imitation of him where he would say, "Look how they massacred my boy." But he couldn't get through it without laughing, and we would just laugh and laugh, and he would make me do Pacino. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in, and we would laugh, and it was just really great. I remember classes that were not scheduled for me; they were scheduled for Brandon McElroy, and I remember one day the class was in the lobby, and Brandon was at the desk ready to go, and Bob changed it at the last minute and said, "I think we're going to let Mr. Packer train this class." Um, yeah, one conversation and one relationship changed the trajectory of my life. I guess I would also remember this. I was working two jobs, as I told you. And one day in the parking lot, while Bob was getting ready to get into his car, and he had on his driving gloves and his mirrored sunglasses. And those of you that know him know exactly what I'm talking about. And he said to me, he said, "I'm going to tell you two things. And I'm going to tell them to you one time, and I want you to remember them." And I said, "Okay." He said, "Number one, you shouldn't be working two jobs. I hired you as a trainer because I want you to do this job and do it well and move up and take care of your family. One job to come to, go home to be with your family." And I said, "Thank you, Bob." I said, "What's the second thing?" He said, "We can't ever let your wife see what I look like." And I thought, that's weird. Why can't we let my wife see what you look like? He said, "Because if she sees me, she's going to want to leave you and be with me." That was Bob Zasloff. I don't know if there are cruises in the afterlife, but if there are, I'm sure Bob's going to be on the promenade deck. God bless you, Bob Zasloff. Godspeed. Rest in peace. Till we meet again.